or at least they're always trying to do some anti-money laundering shit.
Yeah,
But
terrorists.
but they never catch it.
They never.
Okay?
Ow.
They never catch it. They never caught FTX.
Nope.
They never caught the guys who flew in back then, September 11.
Mm-hmm.
They never ever catch anyone.
What just happened this week? They didn't catch it. What happened in Russia would never have happened if money did not change hands. How come they did not catch that?
Listen, Stagnation
Champions.
we welcome you back to the channel. Oh, we're already recording.
Oh yeah, we are recording.
Okay, we'll just keep the recording going.
And that was planned.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are talking about today, okay, is an incredible situation. Obviously, I think at this point in time, many people recognize that when you lose your rights, you don't get it back.
You never get it back.
At the same time, there are rights that we have naturally as a people that are being infringed on. At least right now, this situation is happening in the EU.
Intrusion.
But it also makes you wonder, where is this going to go next? Right? Because we know that the US at some point is going to have to, they're probably going to start getting more into that.
Isn't that why America was created in the first place? Isn't America leave Europe, London, because of this type of intrusion?
Yes. So let me just so anti-money laundering. I want you to capture this word.
They call it AML, another 3-letter word.
And I want you to put it in your mind. Hold it in your mind.
Let it sink in.
Anti-money laundering.
Who's laundering the money?
We don't know.
How much money did you get?
They'll throw it out there. We don't know. So, council and parliament strike deal on stricter rules. It's like having kids. It's like, we got to put some stricter rules on these people. Okay.
What's funny about the council and parliament? A bunch of rich people. Some of them are elected, some of them are not elected.
Yeah.
They want to tell you how to.
And this is the same problem that Africa is having with the West. The disrespect. Coming over to Africa and trying to tell them how to run their country. Trying to tell them what they can accept and what they cannot accept. What is your religion and what is not. You know what I mean? It's like right now they're dealing with the Ghana situation, right? And the whole gay bill.
Oh, you're about to lose $1 billion worth of investment.
Yeah, you're going to lose $1 billion.
If you don't gay up.
What the heck does that have to do with anything? How does that suddenly cross over into geopolitics, into running a country? So you're telling me that a nation of millions of people will now suffer. I mean, they're already suffering because the money that they're getting is not even going to the people to begin with.
It's over-regulated.
So it seems to me...
It's not going to the people because of anti-money laundering and catching where the money is getting laundered into.
Yeah, but you cannot catch it because it's just bribe. Because it seems like when they pay this money, it's just the African leaders take it and go do their own shit with it.
But AML should be working to catch that. It's not catching it.
That's why they're trying to put stricter rules. Do you see the mind games that these people are playing? It is crazy. Listen, what is that bank called again? The one that they straight up open... Swiss bank.
Easy for all African banks to use.
There's even UBS.
UBS, of course.
Anywhere, okay, where straight up you can go and open up a bank account to hide money.
Steal money from the World Bank or get money from the World Bank that is intended for your people, but actually fake fiat money.
Yes.
And then go put it back into their bank accounts where they get to...
Exactly.
Make maximum profit off of it.
Currently, I hope everybody understands that the American economy has been rock pulled
by the banks.
Let me explain to you what money laundering is. When the government prints a bunch of checks, and then most of those checks goes to the top 1%, right? The same top 1% that lobby for these people to
print the money in the first place.
Yes, right? Or pass the rules that are beneficial towards them. Then they take that money and say they don't want to pay taxes on it. So they shift it offshore. Thereby removing that money from the US economy.
That same money that is destroying the economy gets taken out and eating outside of the economy while the economy
Exactly.
gets destroyed.
Exactly. That is capital flight.
It's not you and I doing the capital flights.
No, but
with
you
our
got-
tiny little cryptos.
Yes, but now you cannot pay more than 10K because they don't want you to engage in capital flight, right?
Oh, I can take $5,000 or more over a plane flight to another
Exactly.
country.
Exactly. So by doing that, pulling that money out of the system, putting it offshore and not paying taxes on it. I don't know, man. I did not go to Harvard to study all this advanced economics and everything else like that. But it looks to me that you have effectively rock pulled the economy by doing that because that money is no longer in circulation.
My friend,
You understand?
that is what we call money laundering. And it's
Money
not you and
laundering.
I that is doing it. These regulations that they're putting out there is to stop you and I from ever building our wealth.
This is today. The council and the parliament reached a provisional agreement on parts of the anti-money laundering package, which aims, this is my favorite part, they sound like Gary Gensler, which aims to protect, they love that word protect, to protect the EU citizens and the EU financial system against money laundering and terrorist financing.
That terrorist financing is the one that we started this video with. If it was that serious that this thing is working, why didn't they catch it when the Russia attack this week?
Well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. They are only saying this when it comes to crypto. They're not saying this when it comes to fiat because you see, crypto has been around for what now? 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
But before these 15 years, money laundering has been going on
Forever, ever.
in an environment that is fully controlled by the central banks. And they were not able to stop it,
Bank of International Monetary System.
right?
They didn't stop it.
So it says anonymous wallets now illegal in EU. It's not illegal yet, but we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
So the ability to self-custody your own value.
You worked for this money, my friends. Maybe you didn't even buy crypto. You just converted it to some USDT or something.
Yeah.
They're not telling you that you cannot hold your own money. They must know about it.
This thing, what the fuck? Why do you need to know about it, man? It's not your money.
They didn't work for it.
What happened to freedom?
No.
This is how your
They're
freedom
trying
is
to
taken
protect you. That's why. They're trying to protect you from your money.
Nah, bro, don't that's golly, man. Why is it that people are not seeing this shit?
The funny part is that there are people out there that are defending this shit.
I mean, that's what the
There's a
fuck.
guy that I follow on Twitter. Is Nigerian. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, we need regulation. We need the government to approve it. Government.
You know, there's a couple different things that are happening on social media, okay? There are people who are really smart and, you know, their intellect really shines through. But somehow it seems like those people are really smart until they get to a certain point, and there's usually like a few things that will stop them. Either their brain just does not cross over into the proper into Austrian economics, and put it that way. Either their brain does not cross over into Austrian economics, which will allow them to understand Bitcoin, or their brain cannot function autonomously deep enough to let them understand that you are
Sovereign.
sovereign as an individual. You came into this world alone, you will live alone. It is up to you what you can really achieve and the things that how far you want to push yourself. And trust me, you can push yourself very far. So they get blocked now at this point where government is their god. They cannot move without government. This is what we refer to as bitch ass motherfuckers. But
He's not doing it again.
we'll roll that back. I don't want violence today. No, I mean, it's just that these people refuse to let their mind dig deeper, and they refuse to take back control of their own value. You know, you could pay for cash. Self-custody and making payments with cryptocurrency is no different than me paying you with cash. So if they can make self-custody payments illegal, then they can come to you one day and say, if we see you paying with cash, you're going to jail. But what is the issue, because they're not doing anything in slowing down terrorism. We know that is free flowing. They're not doing anything in slowing down money laundering, because someone who is money laundering some serious money, they can't do anything to that person because that person is paying them as well. So it is all garbage, and I think that is just important.
Buffoonery, man.
Yes.
Madness.
To be paying attention to the fact that as they are doing this, and as you might be wondering how you're going to go protest this bullshit next, understand that maybe they are trying to distract you from the fact that BRICS is out there expanding every day. There is a whole different economy that is not dependent on the US dollar as its reserve currency, expanding daily. Okay?
And they're not doing no AML terrorist crap on that network.
Exactly.
You know what's funny? The head of security at Ukraine just bought himself a nice, is it 500K Bentley or whatever they did buy the other day.
I mean, he's been working
Phantom.
hard. He's been working hard, man. Look at all that, I mean, somebody's in your country shaking you down like that, man. At least you have to take a little break, come out.
AML didn't catch that. How are you a military personnel? You're not the highest paid person in your country, but you have a $500,000 car.
Yeah, somebody's rewarding him. You know what I
AML
mean? But
is not working.
But that's the whole reason why these things are ridiculous as hell. It is just so obviously disrespectful, right? That it's really difficult to take anything that these people are doing too seriously. The only power that these people have is violence.
Yep, blowing shit up.
Yes, because at this point in time, I think that we it is very clear to the rest of society right now that there are way smarter people out here, and society itself can function and almost govern itself.
Yes, it can.
Without these crazy ideas from these people.
You know what's crazy about this idea as well?
Right.
Crypto wallets are not just meant for money.
Yeah.
Wallets can hold information.
NFTs.
We're talking about real estate information.
Yeah.
Community information. Like
your ID, digital IDs.
Yeah. Like, so are you not saying now that you're now banning the existence of property?
I heard that it was illegal for companies to own websites at some point in time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because this is like before, website activity. Yeah. They thought it was illegal. Which I can see why, because they're like, well, you're probably selling things online, and we cannot figure out online, and we cannot get online, and we cannot tax you. You remember you were even telling me that when PayPal, not PayPal, when eBay first
back
came
in the
out,
day.
right? It was a great business, and it was going until they went, oh wait, you guys are making money over there, and we're not getting taxes from it. You can no longer sell stuff on eBay without paying taxes.
One of my first websites that I built was for a donut store, selling donuts, and the biggest challenge was, number one, accepting credit cards.
Yeah.
Number two, accepting credit cards without getting taxes.
Yeah.
The government of Indiana was pissed that they could not take taxes out of your donut website.
You know why these people get pissed that they cannot take taxes? That is because they do not do anything to produce value. Their existence is based on public servants now. Public servants. Are you guys not understanding the term? Public servant. Public servant means that we put these people there to do some activities for us. Yet somehow these people have turned around to be predatory towards us.
Because of developing them.
Yeah, penalizing us for not paying them. What we should be doing is firing these people. You know what I'm saying? So if you do nothing to produce value and you're only dependent on society to pay for your own stuff, you might as well be like a
Useless.
kid. You might be a spoiled kid whose parents just buy him everything they want, right? You want this? Okay, here's some money, here's some money, here's some
and
money.
you know what happened to that spoiled kid?
They go break shit all the time. And as you can see, they're breaking shit around the world right now.
Yes, sir.
Look at this thing here, man. Let's read this one and wrap this one up, because this is absolutely freaking insanity. Because there's also a bottom line to this thing that I want people to recognize. Because despite what these people might feel like, it might not go your way sometimes. In a recent regulatory development, cryptocurrency payments of any size using unidentified self-custody wallets are now illegal in the European Union. This decision was part of a set of new anti-money laundering laws in the continent. I think they should probably focus on how they can get good energy for the people. The majority of the EU Parliament
Good and cheap energy. They were trying to get that from Niger. You saw what happened with that.
Oh yeah, Niger told them like to pause, hit that pause, boy. You want some cheap energy, you're gonna have to pay.
You gotta pay.
You got to pay because you cannot just go around the world and just keep taking from people. Now you see, the majority of the EU Parliament's League Commission approved the prohibition on March 19, according to Patrick Bayer's post. Notably, Dr. Bayer is a member of the European Parliament for the what is that? Deutsche Partei.
Deutsche Partei.
Yeah,
use the German terminology.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing. If you hold a Bitcoin wallet, self-custody Bitcoin wallet, educational moment, and these people say it is illegal for you to pay for something in Bitcoin. Let's say you have Moon Wallet.
How did they stop that? On VPN.
Your ignorance is showing.
Actually, I think that's one of the reasons why we need Apple out of the way with that freaking crap Apple Store, man. Tesla needs to build a decentralized.
No, Apple can be there. It's fine.
Because they can go to Apple and say, Apple ban the Moon Wallet.
Yeah, they can ban it.
Kind of like they did with the wallet of Satoshi.
They certainly can. They can ban it, right? And then when they ban it, then now you have people like, you have other things like Graphene OS, where people buy your device and they don't even set up. Because here's one. Let me point out something to you folks. Maybe y'all ain't understanding some. Let me run something by y'all real quick.
Preach.
Your phone is your worst enemy.
Tracks everything that you do.
Okay. All these places that you have to enter your information, your worst enemy.
Yes, sir.
It does not make sense that when you buy your phone, just to use the phone, you have to start by entering all of your information, damn near your freaking blood type. Exactly. Do you know
the AI
that some of you are out here paying $10 a month for cloud storage, but the stuff that you own on that cloud can be stored on a flash drive that costs less than $10 forever? That's the first part. Secondly, okay, this kind of things will only continue to go if we are playing into it, because now once you have put your information in, they now have you
AI
tracked.
and they control you psychologically.
They know where you are.
They know what next you're about to buy.
They know, in fact, they recommend things for you before you even run out of them. So they know they're now leading your life. They're now leading your life. If someone knows what you need before you need it and can recommend it to you, if your life feels too easy, like it's too seamless, you are not in control of your own life.
They're in control.
Okay.
So bad that you even invite the dang on AI into your house.
Exactly.
To open your windows for you. Like you can't open your goddamn window.
Exactly. And people are just getting more and more lazy. I've always wondered to myself, what is the difference between just holding your thumb to unlock your phone versus using your face to unlock it?
That's me.
Okay. Which one is more convenient? Which one is inconvenient? Or which one is slow? You understand? I'm just a strong believer that the fact that you can have something does not mean that you should have it. You understand? It's like...
That's actually an African proverb for that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I just gotta go pick it up. I've heard it before.
Okay. Yeah. Because before, maybe you could you could unlock your phone
with your PIN numbers.
With a PIN, right? And maybe your PIN, they had the sliding thing, right?
Yep.
I have not noticed a difference in
the time or rate of
in society from people changing from using their PIN code to fingerprint to using their face.
I mean,
I have not seen any difference.
Microseconds. Even the face ones still take a second or two.
Would you say that it has made a substantial improvement in your life?
No, they just stole my iris. Now they can use it for a bunch of shit.
Exactly. So now they have taken more information from you, which they can use to continue to... That information can now be put into a database that can be shared with the government. As much as they say we cannot share anything, but we already know that if the government puts pressure on their neck, they will give that information.
Acts of 1970s.
Exactly. So, I think that it is now at a point where we as individuals need to regulate ourselves, decide what you need, and just go with what is necessary for you. Don't go get things just because everybody else has it, because that's what everyone does, right? It's like, these guys are now doing this. You cannot use fingerprints anymore. That is outdated, so I need to go and get it. Yeah, but it does not mean that you should have it. What benefit is it? However, the consequences of taking such a simple decision so nonchalantly without thinking about it, okay, is stuff like this. Because now the only way that they can do things like what you said, where maybe they can go to Apple and say, hey, remove this app from the store, or they can tell if what you were doing on your phone is, because they can tell what you are doing on your phone. They know how long you're on a page, right? But that is where competition comes in, and then we can see that these people have always been buying companies and killing them. Anyone that looks like it might be competition.
They were trying to block VPN at one point.
Exactly, right? So this is now where
your so-called public servants.
Exactly. Self-education comes into place, right? We need open source things, okay? I'm sure another OS will come out. This is why Elon is doing what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
And having that ability to be able to transact outside of this environment, we don't need to argue with these people.
No.
Because a lot of the rules that come up, I don't remember society coming together and discussing that this is what we want.
No, they come up with it at the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
Get it to the EU Parliament, push it down on us.
Except now, we have an ability to opt out by just using Bitcoin. You can send Bitcoin anywhere. They cannot stop it. Look at China. China buying Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin is still, you can still send Bitcoin to China. If you want to send Bitcoin there, you do it.
There's a video that we got later on after today. You'll be surprised how much Bitcoin China holds.
All right. So all of this stuff is distraction. Please push on, because I don't see how they can enforce this unless you give them the ability to do that by dishing out your information to these people.
Before we close, I'd like to go into some of the details of whatever they're recommending, right?
Absolutely.
So they say that prohibition of cash payments over $10,000.
Why? What is wrong with cash payments over $10,000?
Prohibition of anonymous cash payments of over $3,000.
Prohibition
3,000 pounds.
Prohibition of anonymous cash payments over £3,000.
Why are they controlling your energy?
Yeah, why is that?
Prohibition of anonymous crypto payments to hosted wallets without any threshold. So you're not telling me if I was paying you cash, I walked out, I earned my money, and I wanted to pay you cash. They say no.
Yeah, so
That's the same thing.
So essentially, for you to pay,
they don't need to know that was a transaction between you and I, though.
Yeah, so for you to make that cash payment, then we would have to have like a third party involved for you to just give me cash, or like you have to like go documents like, oh yeah, I get
kind
this
of like what Cash App does now.
Yeah.
Why they gotta charge you a fee, and now you have to report anything over $600.
Yes, like just changing shit like that. Yeah,
I wonder what's gonna happen to me this year, because there's been a lot of money moving back and forth between my family members and I and my cousins.
I think that is
way over $600.
I think that's all of America. So if they plan to tax all of America,
you can't tax me transacting with my family over the family events.
Yeah,
but I gotta report that.
Yeah, they need to. That's, you know, I've said before, I'm calling these people's bluff, man. They don't have
You can hire 80,000 people. It's still not enough.
Yeah.
You can hire all the AI in the world. Yeah, it's still not enough to fix that problem.
Yeah, I'm calling their bluff, man.
Get your hands over our money, man.
Yeah, they don't have it together at all. I'm calling their bluff on that one. What is it? Was there another one you had?
No, that's it. That's the...
Ladies and gentlemen, listen. There is a group of people who are working very hard to enslave us mentally and essentially keep us as slaves. Make no mistake about that. Right now, we are all slaves.
We're in the fiat
system. We
system.
are all slaves, man. Listen, you might have a bunch of money and you might be like, oh, this is not ours to me. I don't care whether you're, you know, where you come from, right? You might want to call black people a monkey or whatever else that makes you feel like you're superior.
You're a better slave, but you're still a slave. You know, there are different levels of slaves too, you know.
No,
there's the out slave, there's the field slave.
Slave is slave. Slave is slave. If you're not fully in control of your time. No. Whether you're a slave in, out, or above or beyond, if 100% of your time is not under your control,
servitude.
Please don't even waste your time trying to talk to me about anything. Okay, the only way you can talk to me is if you can tell me that you do not pay any taxes. The government cannot come after you for shit. and you can do whatever the hell you want, but you're just the one choosing to navigate the world the way you are. Okay, you know what? I can tell you of millions of people in Africa who can tell you that.
Oh, especially those that live in the villages.
Yes, because they're not being tracked, and nobody's on their neck like that.
Having a wonderful life.
Yes. In fact, they can generate their own economy right where they are.
Yep.
Using something like Bitcoin, bring in the resources from anywhere in the world to their village as a local community and continue to look at EFF in South Africa. One of the things that make them so strong is the fact that they were able to demonstrate the things that they're talking about within the community, making it safer, putting more people who are surveilling the streets and all those things. So there is some incredible opportunities that are possible with this blockchain environment that we are in right now. Yet, some of us choose to be complacent and stay as slaves. As long as we do not have full control of our money, we will remain slaves. You now have to consider that this is maybe one of the reasons why these people are so hell-bent on this type of regulation coming to light. That's all I got, Double O. What else you got, brother? Incredible. Free yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And you usually start with some more education. Where else? If you join us on our website, stackfin.com, you will notice that we have now deployed some courses.
Some anti-slavery.
Yeah, we have anti-slavery courses on our webpage. If you're trying to get the basics of Bitcoin, if you want to just sit down and discuss Bitcoin with someone, get an in-depth, how would you say, view of how money is changing. Okay, we have these classes going on. We're offering it 3 times a week right now. Get in there, sign up for some, and we will go ahead and have that strong conversation. And of course, share a lot of resources with you in that class as well, and ensure that you have a good understanding of how the blockchain environment is shaking and diving,
world,
right?
You know?
Yeah, so that you too can start protecting your wealth, so that you too can start, gyrating and increasing your value over time. I was telling Double O a while back that for the first time in my life, I am in a place where even if I lost my job, my net worth will probably still keep going up. This is not the same for a lot of people right now, especially if you're only holding fiat.
We had Mark Harvey on the show, and the guy said the most brain-blowing thing.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is the only, I don't want to call it asset, it's just that only source of money, form of energy that you can buy, that when other people are buying it and holding it, you are also getting richer. Like what? Say that again?
People like to say wealth transfer.
That's the original wealth transfer right there.
But they don't know which direction it's coming from. That is why you need to be in that course so that we can come to the right direction. Now, of course, if you're just interested in, hey, I want to jump in, make some money, roll out, don't trade Bitcoin. Right? Double O has a very sharp, extensive, and in-depth trading course going on the website as well. You can find all that under services.
Your brain will be so swole by the time you're done. You'll be like, choo.
Exactly, right? I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, please check that out. And of course, we also have our friends over at BK Crypto, where we are also doing some collaborative work with them. If you're interested in learning about crypto, okay, minimize or avoid rock pools and things like that, man, jump over here and check out the squad over there. Roshana is also offering some financial soul healing. How do you feel about financial soul healing, brother?
I think it's the most critical aspect for most, especially black and brown people.
Yeah.
Because we have been so enslaved for so long that most people are starting from the negative. I don't even have enough money to buy Bitcoin. Talk less of crypto. How do I get my mental state into that position? Roshana is there for you.
You need to, because a lot of us, we're suffering from financial trauma. We don't even know. For me personally, when I had this financial soul healing course with session with Roshana, the thought process that it had put me in, it has really revolutionized the way I'm thinking. It has really shifted. If it went over into other areas of my life, The question is just whether what are you going to do about it? How will you handle it? How? And once you start coming across these thoughts in your mind, you have to now start taking action, corrective action to fix it, right? The benefits can go on and on forever. Okay. Well, we'll wrap this one up here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Okay. Like the video, share, subscribe. We're also over there at STAKK Fin on X, and of course STAKK on Spotify. Until next time, brazen out.
Double O.